Going at $5 favorite shoe I got in my head. I don't know if I have more than one.
Can we get a roll call from the folks up? Well, everyone, since just get a roll call from everyone right now.
I'm Piken. I'll be running.
I'm Dan Salvato, also known as IE6.
I'm a red blanket guy.
I'm Studio. Dickie Goat. Kramer.
Okay, are we ready to go?
I'm ready.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, so this is Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. Whenever I stream this game, I always get people coming into my chat saying, oh my god, I love this game as a kid. I can't believe someone's running it finally. And I'm sure the chat is going to be the exact same here, except times 16,000.
Dude, I love this game as a kid.
Exactly, there you go. So right off the bat, there's an interesting glitch. That's part of one of the long glitch known as chain pipe skip. And it's called sign clip, and it's pretty self-explanatory. I'll explain the finer details after I do it. Alright, so what I did there was I clipped into the sign by pressing myself between the fence and the sign. That puts me into the sign, and then when I jump, the game doesn't know what to do, so it puts me on the next available flat surface. And the next available flat surface is on top of the map, so it just throws me up there. So unfortunately, this run suffers from a bit of grinding. I'm going to have to grind for about 3 minutes. Not for 3 minutes, about 2 minutes. I'm going to have to get 1150 Rio. I don't need 1150, I need 1100, but 1150 is really safe. So there's nothing really eventful about this.
So chat just wants you to know that they really loved this game as a kid.
Figured. At least there's good music, I guess. As a runner, this part's pretty cool because, I mean, it's mechanically interesting. Like, getting all 4 Rio in a jump is actually pretty tricky. It requires pretty precise inputs, and doing this room fast is just hard as a runner, but I can understand that as a spectator it's not that interesting to watch, since it's the same thing about 13 times in a row.
How much money do you need?
I need 1100 basically, but I need a bit extra for Rio hovering, which is a trick where I can extend my jump by throwing Rio in the air. Thankfully, you get Rio in chunks of 5 and not 1, because you spend Rio in chunks of 1. If you got Rio in chunks of 1, this would take a very long time. A very, very long time. If I had to ballpark it, it'd raise the runtime to, like, I don't know, an hour or so.
Well, this is farming for 5 minutes, right? So
It's farming for 2 minutes, so
then we'll put it at 5.
yeah.
But it's like, you have to get Rio besides this point in the game?
Nope. If my Rio farming is poor, I do have to get more Rio eventually in one of the 2 dungeons, or one of the many dungeons rather. There's more than 2. But if I have good Rio farming, I should not need to get more Rio throughout the run.
Yeah, there's like on the host table.
I have in my head more than my shoe. Can't see.
You have the Nobi thing and a penguin.
I'm not gonna bless
Yeah, pay attention to Tampa and not me at this point.
If we move this back a little bit, we'll probably get... Oh no, I'm getting rid of everything.
Alright, last room. So I'm gonna have about 1140 Rio here, which is pretty good. That should mean that I shouldn't have to farm. And I only have 1135 because I missed that last Rio, but whatever. So this trick is known as Rio hovering. It's pretty self-explanatory. I throw Rio in the air and it makes me hover. I can use this to cross gaps, which is another part of chain pipe skip. Chain pipe skip is like a super long skip, but it's most notably known. Well, it's most well known for the damage boost that I'm going to do later on in this dungeon, which is extremely difficult. That's not gonna hit.
So what are you fighting?
I'm fighting robot dolls.
Oh, okay.
I guess I should explain the story. I barely remember it since it's been years since I played the English version. If you can't tell, this is the Japanese version, and it's a very Japanese game. A very, very Japanese game. I'm amazed they localized it, because there's just so much Japanese folklore in this game. It's kind of insane that they even bothered localizing it.
Does the English version still have the swastika things?
Nope. The swastikas are replaced in the English version for obvious reasons. Alright, in this room I need to kill a certain amount of enemies. By killing those 2 dolls in the front, it will count towards that enemy count. Usually after you kill those, like, a bunch of those floorboards. But if I kill those 2 dolls, I can kill the 3 floorboards and just progress through the room in a linear fashion. And here's another key room. There's nothing much to say about it. Key rooms are just rings where you need to kill all the enemies, and it'll give you a key. Pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, I don't know why there are swastikas on the Japanese version. Every time I stream this game, someone explains it to me, and I always forget.
It's just Buddhist iconography.
Yeah.
It's the reverse, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. If you look at it, it's not actually the Nazi swastika, but it's a similar symbol in its shape, but not in its orientation.
There used to be a vegetarian place near my house that had the symbol, and everybody they would like to look at it and be every time I watch it and go, why is there like this neon, purple, yellow, changing color swastika? in the
Yeah.
corner?
Alright, so I have a few music cues. If I hear, every castle has 3 themes that it progresses throughout the dungeon. Actually, I only think Oedo has 2, but if I get the second music theme right in this room, that means I'm on pretty decent pace. So it's just an audio cue that I have. However, this room, while extremely simple, I'm very bad at, for whatever reason. All I need to do is get on that middle platform, and that's it. Okay, and I did it. And I should get out of here optimally. I did, okay. If I leave before that first one falls, then I got out very fast. Alright, so this is chain pipe skip. If you learn to run this game, you're probably going to quit because of this trick, because it's really hard. So I'm going to focus for a bit here, and I'll explain it after.
You guys would not believe the amount of information on swastikas in chat right now.
It's bad timing. My timing is awful on this. Now I swim English. So, corners in this game are really finicky. They don't like to work, obviously. They will eat your jump all day. Jumped over it. If I jumped at the right time, that would have been it. I'm not jumping at the right time. I'm gonna die. Yeah, I'm dead. There's no way. Just kidding. So, yeah, that's chain pipe skip. And I might die in this room if I make the wrong inputs. But I'm gonna go for something that looks kinda cool. Okay, cool.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, they just hop over you and that bullet just barely misses you. I always thought it looked cool.
Well, what are the effects of death like?
You just die and respawn in the room that you were previously in. So yeah, dying isn't really a big issue. Game overing, however, is a gigantic issue because you return to the last place you saved. And you don't save in this game because it loses you time. So you return to the very beginning of the game. So that's obviously the run over. But I should not game over. If I game over, I will never touch this game again. Because that is very shameful.
So that's skip.
That skip, so that skip is Japanese only. For whatever reason, in the Japanese version, corners operate differently. If you jump into them, you get a boost of height. I don't know why. They fix it in the English version. They fix a lot of things in the English version. And hold on, I need to do something here. Alright, I got it, cool. So this is normally a cutscene, but I can get up and move during it because I zoomed in the camera. Now I need audio for a second.
Is that gear on him?
So I'm lost right now. I don't know where I am. Yeah, I just gotta wait for the cutscene to be over. You can walk directly to the boss, but there are like 4 doors you have to go through. And I made it to the 3rd one, which is pretty decent. And I got the fortune doll, which is bad, but whatever. Alright, so chain pipe skip. For some reason in the Japanese version, when you jump into a corner, you gain a boost of height, and I don't know why. They fix it in the English version, and you can abuse that little boost you get with a damage boost from an enemy, and it'll boost you up over that corner, and that you cannot pass that room without the chain pipe. In the English version, you can't do chain pipe skip, so you actually have to get the chain pipe, and the whole chain pipe skip ordeal saves about 5 minutes, so it's pretty crucial. Now this is Congo. He's one of the worst bosses in terms of design. He's just a gigantic head that you hit. There's nothing really special about it, but mechanically, as a speedrunner, it's a pretty fun fight. You may notice I'm hitting him a lot, but my hits only count when he's not flashing. I can barely tell when he's not flashing, like right there, obviously. That wasn't really hard to tell, but when he's like flashing constantly red, and you're hearing the hit sound, that's nothing. It's just fake hits. Like right now, he would take a hit if I hit him, and he took a hit there, but right now I'm not dealing any damage. So optimally, you need to hit him 4 times before this laser phase ends, and I'm not going to get a single phase skip. Yeah, you can skip this. You can skip a phase every single time he does his laser spin by hitting him optimally here, but it's pretty tricky holding the analog stick. Because you can either do that or you can run into Congo's geometry, which is really messed up. So there I got a phase skip, and this should be the last phase if I'm remembering correctly. Alright, yeah, cool. I feel like you're going to say something. Not really, that was the first dungeon. Oh, the story of the game, I never explained it. So, you're Goemon, he's like a famous character in Japan, not so much in America. But these two guys, I forget their names again because I haven't played the English version forever. Alright, cool, I got a little frame saver there. But I forget their names. These two, this queen and this king, want to turn Japan into a stage. I don't know why, they just do. And they like unleash their robots among the denizens of Japan. And you have to go out and save them, and you need all 4 miracle items to go up in the space to prevent them from turning Japan into a stage. And that's the gist of it. It's a pretty weird story. But again, this game is extremely Japanese, so that kind of explains it. So here the king of Oedo, or the emperor, or whatever, is giving us the pass to leave the town because I cannot leave the town otherwise. Right? And I'm going to do a glitch known as map glitch, and this is the easiest glitch in the game. All I have to do is hold C right. C right is the map button, as you can see. I'm turning the map up and, or making the map appear and disappear. Okay, that was almost really bad. I almost froze the game. So if you map glitch on the wrong places, you can freeze the game. So I've memorized every place the map glitch. So if you were paying attention, there was water here before, and there's going to be water in a couple of seconds. So there's the water. I'm going to despawn it again. So how map glitch works is when you hold C right upon entering a loading zone, for whatever reason it despawns everything that isn't like the walls or the ceiling or the skybox or things like that. So this includes triggers, which will be extremely useful in about 2 minutes, because I'm going to skip the first impact fight. And as much as I love the impact theme, that impact fight takes about like 5 minutes, so I gotta skip it. However, in the English version, you have to do the fight, because the only way to skip the fight is by getting 3 frame perfect jumps in a row. And that's obviously not very feasible for many people. And I don't know if I said that, or said this, but map glitch is Japanese only. A lot of glitches are Japanese only for whatever reason. I guess they release it in Japan and then localize it for America. And they just fixed a lot of the glitches.
I guess for a casual playthrough, despawning everything in
Would
the
be-
next map might be an issue.
Would be a little bit of an issue. So again, I'm map glitching here. Map glitching is mostly used to save frames throughout the run, but the only like huge instance of like skipping something with map glitch is coming up right here. So if I let go C right, I'm gonna have to fight the impact fight. So hopefully I don't do that. I have done it before, and that was not a good time. So I'm actually running low on Rio, but I got really lucky with 2 Rio drops there. Now, upon entering this loading zone, I'm going to hit C right, and I'm not going to let go of it until I'm past the trigger. So hopefully I do not let go of it.
Do you have a button that makes sounds, like random sounds?
This?
Oh, okay. Oh, Dragon's Wall.
Yeah.
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, if you switch your weapons, you get a little sound, and most runners use it while they're running, like in a straight line, not really doing anything, playing along with the music. It's just what we do. I'll be doing it later, way later, to a very hard song that I always do in my stream, and I'm like, alright, here we go. Because it's actually pretty challenging.
We'll get to the Beat Mania segment of one.
This is not enough finger speed. I was like games you know with it. No! To make sounds. I should shut up. You sound so pain.
What's the time at?
I love the main.
Playtime. Let's see how long all that stuff stands.
It should be about 20 some minutes.
I was bad. 14.
14.
I was planning to have it on for the whole run.
Yeah, So I think we're at like 17 now for stuff on top of that. Good job. Good man. That's pretty good.
Shout out to Dark Shield in the chat for sure, telling me to go with a shoe on my head.
Alright, so I'm well past the trigger now, but I'm going to continue holding map glitch just because it saves frames. And now I'm going to let go of it because it's kind of annoying. So I do a little boost there, I don't know why. When you attack like at an edge of something, it'll boost you up onto it. And I'll be using that in the second to last dungeon.
Is that a panel?
I don't know. I haven't tried an English version. I assume it probably would be. So here we're going to get Yay. Yai, Ya. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I say Yay. I don't know how to pronounce a lot of people's names in this game, except Abysmura. I say Abysmura correctly. But Yay is mostly useless except for her mermaid ability and her flute. If she didn't have those two abilities, she would literally be never be used because she's useless otherwise. Well, actually, she does have one cool trick that's used once throughout the run that saves frames. So that's neat, I guess. The trick itself is actually pretty cool, but it's only used in one area and it saves frames, as I mentioned before.
What's the record of his game?
The record, it's apparently 121 by someone on Nico Nico. I haven't seen the run. It's available as a video. My personal best is 125, so I'm 4 minutes away, but I consider myself decent at this game, so I have no idea how he's shaving 4 minutes off the run.
Probably because of Kirby using as the old.
Yeah.
Most people for some reason.
Turbo wouldn't be useful in this game at all, actually. Well,
I'll take speed, I guess. Like,
yeah, maybe for impact fights, but that's it. So, if you remember this game as a child, you remember Benkai. Or Benkei, I don't know. Benkai seems right. But you also remember we gotta do some fishing. So fishing is one of the few random parts in this game. Hold on, I have to choose the right dialogue option. So fishing is one of the few random parts in this game. There are very, very few random things in this game, but fishing is one of them, and it can lose you up to 20 seconds. So it's kind of a pain in the ass. And the fish's hitboxes are super weird. You'd think it'd be like the whole fish, but it's only like their eye. That's the thing you need to hit. Not their tail, their eye. Okay, so that's 3 blue fish. We need 3 blue fish, 5 yellow fish, 7 red fish. And the red fish are what can fuck you up like, really bad. So now, this is a dude, by the way. It confused me as a child, too.
Do you have a waifu from this game, Python?
No. Well, the dragon lady is kind of cute.
Speaking of waifus, we have a $30 donation from Yashi. And the comment is, can you tell Pyken that he's really cute and that we should have hung out more?
Hello, Yashi.
Python, you're really cute.
And I should have hung with Yashi more, yeah. Well, there's always SGDQ, which I plan to go to, so I'll see you there, buddy. So now comes a redfish. The first screen of redfish isn't that bad. The second screen of redfish is very bad. It can go like one of 3 ways. It can go well, okay, or terrible. So we'll see how it goes. This first screen is a joke because it's only one redfish and he's always right here. So this screen is the one that's a trick. Okay. Okay, that was okay. Usually that second fish goes under or through the slants on the bridge. I don't know what they're called. The supports. So he didn't do that time. Instead, he just kind of went past them. Okay. And these redfish are actually being really nice to me, so that was pretty cool.
what happens if you pick up a wrong colored fish?
It just says, hey, wrong fish, and that's it.
I like to think that's a message, just, hey, wrong fish.
Yeah, hey buddy, wrong fish.
Come on, dude, you're not supposed to
like,
eat that fish.
Come on, man. What are you doing?
We told you that fish.
Oh, nice. So, I'll try and get one. It plays a pretty good sound. That's a nice sound. So this part is pretty boring to watch, but it's really relaxing as a runner, because it's just a break. Because when, like, so far the game has been pretty stable in terms of, like, glitches and sequence breaking, but in about 10 minutes it's going to change quite a bit. So this is just a nice break from everything. So that was the Achilles heel. It's a log, but it explodes, so I don't know. A lot of things in this game explode. I mean a lot. So Benkai, he's usually fine. Like 9 out of 10 times, he's perfectly fine. However, he can give me a weird animation that throws off my timing completely, and it seems to be completely random. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Okay, he didn't. Cool. Off that second hit, you'll sometimes like stagger back, and it'll add like a second to the timing. And I've only gotten it like 3 times, so I have no idea what the timing is on it. And that third hit is really hard to hit him.
What was the point of that?
He's blocking the bridge because he's a guard or something.
So we sell things with violence.
Yeah, and
Logged at him.
we went to talk to the guy. We're like, hey, this guy's blocking the bridge. We need to get past. He's like, oh well, I know his weakness. If you catch me some fish, I'll tell you. And you catch him fish, and it really looks like a chick.
So its weakness is explosives.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Exploding logs.
Yeah.
That's my weakness too, I think.
This place has really good music, but we only hear it for a couple seconds. Alright, longest Rio hover in the game. I actually throw so much Rio I hit the sprite limit. There, I hit it. And I just stopped throwing Rio until right now. And now we're gonna go to the turtle. Again, this is extremely Japanese. I'm sure this is explained somewhere in Japanese mythology, but I do not know Japanese mythology that well. I know about the Kappa, and that's really it. And we will be seeing an actual Kappa, folks. An actual life Kappa. Yeah, yeah, hold your Kappas until that moment. I will let you know when. Please let the chat remain. Again, I'm map glitching here. This is one of the few places that you absolutely have to map glitch because the lag here is absolutely atrocious. It gets to single digits in the frame rate. Like, this game already runs at, like, a pretty, like, shitty 30 FPS, but here it gets to, like, 8 FPS, and it's kind of ridiculous. But with map glitch, we can despawn everything that lags the game. So we can just walk here. So I'll let it run for a little bit, and this is not as bad as it is, usually. When you're in the middle section of it, it's absolutely terrible. And then 100% you get to see how bad it is, because I need a fortune all there. So, quick little ditty, because this part is extremely boring. I love this game to death, and I think this part is absolutely terrible. But a quick little thing about Goemon is that you can make the game forget how to count with map glitch by if you map glitch and let go of map glitch when you're on top of a fortune doll, which is kind of like this game's heart pieces, like from Ocarina of Time. If you do that, the doll will not register in the game. It will collect it, it will disappear, it will no longer be there, but the game will not register it as being there. And even at the end of the game, it will, like, there's a little, hey, how many fortune dolls did you get thing? It will show you that you collected that fortune doll, but you will not get the heart for it. So sometimes you can do a 100% run and finish without all the hearts. It's pretty cool. You can also leave the map before you get, like, your heart. Like, if you collect a heart piece or heart canister, I forget what it's called in Zelda, where you get, like, a full heart after beating a boss. If you collect this game's equivalent of that and leave the map before it registers as being picked up, it will disappear and you won't get the heart. So that's pretty cool, and I have finished 100% runs without all hearts.
Did it still count, I guess? Or?
Yeah, it still counts. I mean, I technically got everything, it's just I didn't get all the hearts. The game just forgot to count.
You got the heart pieces, but the game didn't give you the hearts.
It's a bad game like that. This game is really... I used to think this game was pretty well made as a kid because I didn't know anything back then. But when I got into speedrunning it, I found out how just poorly made it is. There's just a lot of stupid things about it.
Maybe that's what makes it a good game. It's casual, it's fine, then you realize, oh wait, I need to despawn water.
Yeah, that's... I agree with that. I think that's a very good philosophy, is to make a very good casual game, but make a broken as hell speed game. Like, no one's gonna run into the major game-breaking glitch in this game in a casual run. It's not gonna happen. I don't even know how people found it, because it's so specific, and it requires such specific inputs, that it just is insane that someone found it. Shoutouts to Serpent, by the way, or ZLamp on Twitch, who found this trick that I'm gonna do in about 5 minutes. And I'll explain it when I get it, obviously. Again, this boss is terrible. It's just one of those invincible frame bosses. I can't attack him while it's yellow, so I just have to wait. And that should be it. Okay, that should be it. So unlike most like Nintendo bosses where they take 3 or 5 hits or 10 hits or something normal, that boss takes 6 hits for whatever reason, and it's just a super long drawn-out fight that I do not enjoy. So if I were to have a waifu in this game, it would be a dragon chick. And yes, this is a chick. I thought it was a boy at first too, and I don't know what that says about me as a person, so...
Just confusing the genders of every character in this game.
And again, she explodes when she hits the ground. And she's perfectly fine, of course. So this is the dragon, believe it or not. She can transform into a dragon and be normal and stuff. And a quick little note, I talked over it, but a thing I love about this game is the music, and as soon as the text kicks in, it plays a little ding, and it kicks in right as the melody for this song kicks in.
Is there a laugh track?
Yeah, there is actually a left track.
Okay.
The dialogue in this game is actually really, really good, but I haven't played this game in English in so long that I've forgotten all of it. But I do remember it as being very, actually entertaining and funny. Like, I know one running joke is that the main villain calls this guy, I forget the name, but it's some generic American name. Like, all throughout the run, it's like Jack or something. He just keeps calling him that. Until the very end of the game where he's like, my name's not Jack, and then he kills him, or sends him off Team Rocket style. And that actually does happen, so. Now we have the flute, so we can warp everywhere, which is very useful. But it comes with a price. The animation for using the flute is pretty long. It's about 30 seconds. So it's kind of a trade-off. Like, you do warp around the map, but it takes a very long time to actually start warping.
Is there some Japanese like folklore that involves flutes and warping?
I have no idea.
Because like, I don't know.
A lot of games is in
Zelda, Mario.
Well, Link in the Past is something for... With... But it's just a way to get to...
So this part is just optimized movement. I don't want to hit the steps at all. I just want to keep a steady stream of movement forward. And I hit the steps a lot in the first map. That second map was decent. This is the easiest map. And I have an audio cue here, and I can already tell I'm really far behind. I should hit the loading zone like 2 seconds ago. A lot of useful audio cues in this game.
I remember being able to swap characters in this game, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will. There's no use for any other character at the moment. However, when I get the next superpower, or power up, that will change very quickly. Because Goemon is actually pretty useful. I mean, useless. Okay. So we're paying tribute to the money god here. He's going to give us Fire Rio, which is... I mean, it is actually pretty useful. It's used in 2 dungeons, but it's necessary to progress the game. So if we hold B, we'll get Fire Rio, and that will light torches and things, and that's why it's required to beat the game. So we're going to change to Yay. And we're going to warp. And fun fact, the camera controls for this game are terrible. I have to hold R and then use the C buttons, so that was... I mean, I never figured that out until I started speedrunning the game, so good job, Konami. Or whoever developed the game. I think Konami just published it.
This is a very long...
Yeah, as I said, this is a very, very long animation, so you have to make sure the warp is worth it. In this case, it very much is. I don't think you can get out of here otherwise. I'm not sure about that. This is Fokipoke Village. I don't think you can get here without warping. I might be wrong on that. So here's the one cool glitch that Yay has that's used once in the run and saves frames. It'll be coming on the next map, and I'm going to freeze time with Yay. And you'd think that'd be crazy useful in other spots, but it's not. It's kind of hard. It's kind of tricky to pull off. I'll explain it when I do it, but it involves a flute.
I can't stop watching her hair.
The shadows in this game are actually pretty well animated.
I was about to say, like, I wouldn't expect more than just a circle for any N64 game.
Yeah, so what I did there is I played the flute and then I got on the ladder, and that freezes time, as you can see. Normally these things fall, but they're not because time's frozen. I guess time freezes because the game still considers me as in the animation of the flute playing. And as soon as I hit the door, that cancels.
So is that the only use of the glitch? Or?
Yep. You can use it otherwhere or in other places, but it's not useful in a speedrun. So this lion head usually comes to get me if I hug the wall. Yep, there he is. That guy just flights or goes through the wall. A lot of enemies can do that. So this game is actually pretty different for like an old school game. Well, I mean, I guess not. I guess old school games are more cryptic, but I had to talk to that person to trigger the next like main story event. Like that seems rare for like children's adventure games to just talk to some random person in the town to trigger the next story event.
The worst case on the games when you have to talk to the same person more than once. I hate those.
But I talked to that chick to enable the side quest to get Ibizmu's power, which is the ability to shrink. And while that doesn't sound very useful, it is extremely useful because it will break the game quite a bit. So first we have to get it, obviously, and we have to do a minigame, and that's where another case of RNG comes in. I can get extremely screwed over by the minigame, or I can just get a standard run. So there's no like, oh, I got a god run of that minigame. It's either I got an okay run, or that run just completely screwed me over. So we're gonna go back to the fisherman. I do a little trick there to prevent the falling animation. If you fall from a certain height, you'll get a falling animation that loses you like 2 seconds or so. However, if you walk off a surface and land, you will not get the falling animation. So I jumped on the little fence on the bridge there, and I walked off of it. So it's just a little thing that I think is cool that prevents the walking animation. And I'm sorry about my voice; it usually goes to hell whenever I do marathons. Marathon runs, because I'm just not used to talking this much, and my voice isn't used to it either. So sorry about the cracks and dryness. Not much I can do about it.
You ever get a break? I get you like a glass of water or something?
Yeah, I'd greatly appreciate some water. So this is Ibizmu. While he looks very incompetent and useless, that is quite the opposite. He's the most useful character in this game by far. And in 100% I'd do a little neat glitch here where I'd switch characters before playing this game, and I'd play the minigame with EA, which isn't intended, but that's a frame saver and it's only using 100%. So here's a minigame. I'm going to need some audio. I need to hear where these fall. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't be seen by him or else he'll drop bombs, and the odds of me taking damage are very high. Okay. I need 8 dumplings or candies, whatever. Just, yeah, set it down. Wow, that was really bad luck. So an average time for this is about 40 seconds. And this is probably going to be worse because I'm getting pretty bad luck here. Well, it might be about the same. Yeah, 41 seconds, like every time. So, the power I just got is pretty useful, and I'll just let it speak for itself. So I now have the ability to shrink, and I move slower while I'm shrinked, and it takes time to shrink, so you'd think it'd be pretty useful for a speedrun, like you'd want to avoid shrinking as much as possible. It's quite the opposite though. So I'm doing a huge sequence break here. It may not seem like much, but it is a very large sequence break. I'm about to get the cucumber from this guy up here. I need the cucumber for the Kappa, because Kappas love cucumbers, to get the 4th miracle item. The 4th miracle item you get after beating all 4 dungeons prior to it. So, wasn't good. Alright, so that's the mini Ibizmu slide. You're not supposed to move while sliding. No one knows how it works. The whole community is kind of baffled on it, but we all have our theories. My theory is that the programmers didn't give you collision with anything while you were transforming. So if you were somehow able to move while transforming, you'd have no collision and you'd be able to clip into things. So, hold on, where am I going? Okay, I think that's the right input, but that's my theory on it. I don't know if that's correct. No one really knows how it works, but it is extremely useful because it's going to be used quite a bit in this next dungeon. Speaking of which, up next is Ghost Toys, which is the hardest dungeon in any percent. Not so for 100%, that would be Festival Temple, which has the hardest slide in the game, but we're not going to be seeing that. However, Ghost Toys is pretty tricky in any percent. I have to do a random slide 2 times in a row. So what determines my clipping into a wall? I don't know. It seems random. It seems like it's based on position and distance, but sometimes it just seems completely random. Like sometimes the game will decide to let me through the wall, and sometimes it won't. I should explain how I'm doing the slide as well. As I mentioned before, if you're paying attention, the inputs you need to do this slide are extremely precise. It's a 12 frame input, which isn't much, but then you have to do a 1 frame input. Or you'd rather have 12 frames to make a 1 frame input. And how you do it is, I'll explain it once I do the crane game, because there's a bit of waiting there. So this is the random slide that I have to do 2 times in a row. Again, I don't know what determines whether or not it lets me through. Okay. So this is the hardest jump in the game, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that. That's why I don't want to get that doll, because it loses me like 5 seconds. So I should probably do this first before I start talking, because I'll probably mess it up. Alright, so how the Abysmal glitch is performed, Abysmal slide is what it's called. You jump, you do not make any inputs in the air, you land. Upon landing, you have 12 frames to make a 1 frame input in any direction. You let the stick go back to a neutral position, you hit C up, and then that will give you a slide. Again, extremely precise inputs, and I have no idea how anyone found that trick. It just seems like the most random thing to stumble upon. But, I mean, Serpent found it, so he's pretty cool. So, a little fun thing. Much like the, holy hell, slide, thank you. Much like the fortune dolls disappearing, I can actually make that camera disappear forever. But I obviously don't want to do that because it's necessary to progress the plot. I did a little trick where I went into first person. I know it wasn't first person, but that's what I call it. I go into that camera mode, and while in that camera mode, animations can't play. And you usually play an animation when you get an item. So by being in that animation, or in that camera position, the animation didn't play, and I could move during the little "you got an item" dialogue boxes. However, if I left the room during those dialogue boxes, the item would disappear. I wouldn't get it, and that would be the end of the run. That isn't really a threat in any percent, because you need to do that slide again. And the odds are that you're not going to get that slide first try, and you're not going to get out of there before the dialogue boxes are still there. And 100% you can just walk out of the room. There's nothing stopping you from doing it, so you have to wait for a little bit. Now, the camera, what it does is it reveals ghosts. Again, I don't know if it's Japanese mythology, because Fatal Frame, I think, does that too. But here's an optional slide that I'll go for. That's pretty cool if I get it, but I didn't. It's only worth trying that for 1 try, because it's not that slow to kill the ghosts. But I can clip through that wall that was there earlier and go into the loading zone, but it's pretty precise. And again, if you don't get it on the first try, then it's not really worth the time.
How big is the speedrun community for this game?
Very, very small. I'm the only active American runner. It used to be me and Czar. I forget his name. I think it's Czar3565 on Twitch. But it used to be me and Czar. Annie Meowsers used to run this game. Serpent used to run this game, or Z-Lamp, sorry. And I think that's it. A lot of people are getting a growing interest in this game, because it's a pretty interesting speedrun. I mean, it's got cool glitches, it's pretty technically intensive, very little RNG, little cutscenes. A lot of people in Goemon on the SRL IRC are joining in and looking to get into the run. I know Keymaker is one of the new ones, and I'm sure I'm forgetting everyone else. But I often get messages like, hey, I'm looking to run this game, and I was looking for advice and tricks and stuff. So it's growing very slowly, but at the moment I'm the only active American runner, so. Yeah. Oh yeah, shout out to Hex too. He's my prodigy. Alright, I can fall here, hopefully I don't, because that will lose a lot of time. I was gonna say I've been falling here in a long time, right before I fell. I should've, it would've been a lot funnier. Okay, now I'm just being a stupid fool. I kinda want low HP for this room, but it's not not for this room, for this dungeon, because I need to do a death ward. But 2 HP is risky. This is one of the few dungeons where you're at risk of dying, like the whole time, because everything is out to get you. I really can't believe that I fell there. I haven't done that in forever.
Powerful
maximum luck, of course. Alright, well, I'm gonna be on 1 HP. Should be fine. That's the falling animation I was talking about, by the way. It's very finicky. It is 100% random. I don't know what determines it. No one really does. So this room's pretty scary. If I fall, I'm pretty much dead, since I have 1 HP. If I didn't have 1 HP, I'd be in a lot better position, but we're good. So I should be fine, but those are famous last words, so we'll see what happens. So here's another key room, just killing things. Okay, I got a heal, that's actually pretty nice. I don't want another one though, that would be bad. And again, the music in this game is fantastic. Every single dungeon has like a fantastic track. If you have not heard the soundtrack for this game, I suggest you fix that.
It's an incredibly chill, like, musical.
There's a lot of jazz in this soundtrack, which is awesome, especially in Festival Temple. That's probably the jazziest, and that's probably my favorite track too. It used to be Gourmet Submarine, no more. So here's the jump rope room. I should be able to take 3 hits here. That's really risky. I'm gonna go ahead and play it safe, not take that hit. And usually I wouldn't use the camera here because I should be able to memorize the pattern of this place, but again, it's a marathon, I'm just gonna be safe. Alright, cool. So I'm gonna grab this key and then death warp back to the beginning of the room. And usually I'm at 1 HP here and it's instant, but we had to play it a little safe. Now coming up is the pool room, or billiards, depending on how fancy you are. It's a pretty tricky room that can go well or poorly. I have yet to get a good pool room in a run, so I doubt it's going to change right now. Also, usually you can't jump in water because there's a little dip in animation. However, the water in here is really shallow, so you can just jump through it to prevent taking damage and to move slightly faster. Alright, I'd like Rio, thank you. Alright, I'm gonna focus for a bit here. That pink ball is always giving me some trouble. That's not the right ball. Here's where I can get to show off some MLG 6 shots. Oh, that was nice. Let's go in the frag bit. That's not nice. Again, this is what happens when I don't get the pattern that I want. That's not gonna hit. Oh, it did hit. Cool. So that was a bad billiards room. I wasn't really expecting much else. And I have 9 extra Rio to spare. So I need 300 Rio here. If I'm under 300 Rio by the end of this dungeon, the run's over. Because the odds of me getting a Rio drop are very, very low. Also, if I fall in here, that's really bad. But I didn't, so that's cool. I'm gonna have like 6 Rio left over. Not even 4. Cool. One time I did a run and I was at 301 Rio, and that was pretty neat. Meaning if I had spent 2 extra Rio, the run would have been over. And you don't think about that when you're doing Rio hovers. You're just kind of like mash B, mash B, mash B.
You get Rio after the big stun.
It's... Well, yeah, I get Rio after I spend the 300, but getting Rio after Ghost Toys is extremely unlikely. There's only like 3 enemies on the way to where you need to go next to spend the Rio, and the odds of you getting a Rio drop are not very high. Alright, so this is the Ghost Toys boss. One of the few bosses you can do perfectly. Like, easy every time, but again, I'm probably gonna mess it up. Did you get me more water, Studio?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I was gonna say did you, but
Oh.
alright. Thank you anyways. I don't know the name of this guy. He's a really boring boss. All I do is expose his weak point and then attack him. Nothing much special about him. I think it's kind of a glitch that you can hit him twice in one phase, but I don't know. The timing on him is, the window on him rather, is pretty large, so it doesn't seem like a glitch. I can get unlucky here though. If a rocket drops, that's pretty bad, and I don't want that to happen. Okay, that's bad too. I'm not gonna get a perfect boss. Yeah. Oh well. I'm gonna have an extra phase now, which loses me like 5 seconds, so it's not really a big deal. That rocket phase is the hardest to get 2 hits on. It's extremely tight, the timing for it. So if you get hit by a rocket, or the last rocket rather, the odds of you getting that second hit is not very high. Okay, but that time I did get hit by the rocket, but I was in the air. So there we go, I got the second hit on him. If you're in the air, it cancels the whole little damage animation that you have. Usually when you get hit, that should be the end of the boss, by the way. This next hit is going to be the end. But usually if you get hit... Thank you. Usually if you get hit, you bounce for like 3 or 4 bounces. But if you're in the air, it cancels that. So that's the second dungeon. Ghost Stories. Got the miracle item, we're all set. Now we're going to go to the 4th dungeon, not the 3rd, Gourmet Submarine, which I'm sure is one of the most notable dungeons from this game because it's made entirely with food. Every single thing in there is food except the enemies, but all the platforms and everything are food, and one of the hardest tricks involves food. Well, chopsticks, so utensils. It's nothing but Japanese food, so if you're not a fan of Japanese food, I guess you're in luck.
Can I go to Wendy's after this?
No, thank you.
I need to eat something before.
So this is the king I was talking about. He's a weird guy. And that's, I think, Baron his name is? I don't know. Again, it's been so long since I played this game in English. Right now he's calling us weirdos, I think. My memory serves correct. And now we're gonna head off to the witch. So here's where you can make the game forget the count. In 100%, I mean, not in any percent. And we're gonna do a pretty, it's a pretty big skip. It doesn't seem like much, I'm just gonna map glitch, but it's a pretty big skip because it skips getting Goemon's power, which is, if you remember the game, you turn Super Saiyan pretty much. Your hair turns yellow and everything, and you like have a little power-up animation. And it's a pretty cool power, but it has one of the worst minigames of all time. And if you've played this game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That spinning minigame where you have to keep the dolls from popping the balloons. You have to do it 100%, but thankfully this is not 100%. So I'm map glitching right now. Usually there's a block here that only Super Saiyan Goemon can push, but I despawned it, and now I'm past it. So that skipped that whole thing. That skips like 5 to 6 minutes of minigames and dialogue. So this is home to the most random slide in the game. I have no idea what determines whether or not I clip on it. It's just completely random, so it can kill runs with how bad it can get. Or it can save runs with how good it can be. It's kind of silly. Oh, and I wanted to explain this. If you notice, I'm running into walls everywhere. That speeds up my walking animation ever so slightly. It's a frame saver, but again, it's a speed run, and we need to save the frames. So here's the wall that I need to clip through. It is quite the wall. Very well built. Hard to get through. That's way too close on that. Again, I have no idea what determines whether or not I go through it. I could be here all day, but that's probably not going to happen. And this is usually what happens when I do any percent attempts of this game. I just lose the run to this. Either that or the 2 slides in Ghost Stories. There we go. It's not that hard of a trick, sadly. It's just random.
Sadly?
Well, I enjoy difficult.
You want to be hard?
Yeah, I like chain pipe skip. It's not random, it's just hard. This is Festival Village. There's Festival Temple Castle and Festival Village, so I often confuse them. It's not very important in any percent. And 100% is kind of important because there's some dolls here, but this isn't 100%. There I do a little wall run, saves frames. And this is the only thing in the game that I've found. And I'm glad that I did because the old tactic here was a gigantic pain in the ass. I'll explain it as I'm climbing the mountain after I get the glitch, but if you remember the route in this game, like the normal casual route, You're supposed to get weapon upgrades, but we're not going to do that. There's usually a big rock here, but again, map glitch. It's pretty cool. So I'm going to respawn the rock while I'm in it, and that's going to pop me up right past the rock. Now, apparently that is faster than the older method, which was to turn into Mini Abysmaru and just jump up the slope. If you notice when I entered the area, there was a gigantic slope leading up to the witch's house, because she lives at the top of the mountain. And getting up that slope as Mini Abysmaru is one of the most obnoxious things in the world. I implore you, if you own this game, to try it, because it is one of the worst things I've ever experienced. It's completely random. It takes like a minute and a half. It's just miserable. So here's the witch. This is why we need 300 Rio. Or one of the reasons we need 1100 Rio. She talks for a bit and she takes her money. So a bit more on the lore, or the story. So when I skipped that first impact fight, there's a pretty important cutscene before that. If you're familiar with the Goemon games, the old man, I think, is a recurring character. He's like, I think he built Sasuke, and he's like the mentor to Goemon and Abysmaru, who I think are named in the SNES version Dr. Yang and Kid Yin or something. Okay, cool. I'm glad I remember that. So, what was I saying? The old man, right. His house gets blown up in the cutscene preceding the impact fight. So, now he's kind of a spirit. Like, the whole group thinks he's dead, but he's not actually. He's up in the castle in the sky, which hasn't actually happened yet, and will not happen, but it is there. There's a cutscene that shows it going up into the air, but we're not going to see it. You see it in 100%, but this is 100%. So, I got so sidetracked. Something about the old man. His house blows up, the group thinks he's dead. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. So we paid the witch to talk to the old man, and that somehow progresses the plot. Now we're gonna get Mermaid Yay.
How long is
100% is about 2 hours and 20 minutes. Like on a mediocre run, like a marathon run would be that long. The world record is held by me, because I'm the only one who runs it. And it's 2:14:53. And 100% is defined by getting everything on the pause screen. So that's all superpowers, all weapons, all items. Well, weapons are items. All weapons and all weapon upgrades, I think. And I think that's it. And of course, all hearts, obviously. And it's a pretty interesting run. It's a lot different from any percent. Both have their merits. Both have their, ups and downs. So this is the waterfall. If you played this game as a kid, you probably hate this minigame because it's kind of a pain in the ass. Because it's on the English version, it's random. However, on the Japanese version, it's not. It is a set pattern. So I can exploit that, obviously, and just complete it in one go. So to get past this extremely difficult minigame, all I do is hold left, and that's it. Now all I have to do is hit A. And as you can see, nothing is going to hit me. I think eventually a doll will hit me, but if I mash fast enough, which I will, I'll complete it just fine.
Wait, there she goes. Are there any music in this game that are fun? Because a lot of them seem to...
Sasuke's one is. I always compare it to one of the stars in Worm's Fortress. I forget the name of it, but you have to climb to the top of the tower and get the star on the top of the tower. Sasuke's minigame is a lot like that. You just climb a big tower, and it's kind of just platforming. So again, long warp animations. We're not really warping that far, but it is worth the warp. So now we are going to Gourmet Submarine, which is my least favorite dungeon, because it has one of the most difficult slides and the chopsticks. And if you're familiar with me in running this game, you'll know what the chopsticks are and how much of a pain in the ass they are. So I'll explain it before I get there because I don't want to explain it while I'm doing it. So the chopsticks are... basically, all I have to do is run on some chopsticks. That's it. It sounds easy, but it's not. Because the chopsticks are like... the collision box on the chopsticks are like 2 pixels wide or something. It's ridiculous how small the chopsticks actually are. And I have to walk in a perfectly straight line on them, hop into giant udon bowls, or udon, I don't know how to pronounce that. So I have to jump in those 2 balls, I have to jump onto another pair of chopsticks, and I have to, do all that while holding straight on like a 2 pixel wide what's it called? 2 pixel wide, like, line, basically. Now my HP is pretty low here. I'm gonna grab this dumpling, which will heal me by 1 heart. I have to hit this button to go under the Sea of Japan. Surprisingly, the Sea of Japan is not that big. It's pretty small. I'm sure it's completely geographically inaccurate. And there's also a submarine under here, just chilling.
Is it also frozen?
Yep.
That nose.
Yeah, go figure. I think this is an iceberg. That would make more sense, due to all the shapes and everything. So there's Gourmet Submarine, right behind this ice block. There it is. It's a really short dungeon, but it has 2 insanely annoying tricks. So here we go. What am I doing?
Going back outside again?
Yeah, the controls are inverted, and I'm not very used to them. I mean, I am used to them, but I just messed up for a second. I don't know what I'm doing here. I guess I'm choking. Okay, down. There, I got it. Alright, we got it. We're going up. There we go. Progress. I held the right direction. These guys can hit you. They're completely random. I didn't get hit, thankfully. My HP is actually pretty low for this dungeon. Right. And here's one of the first annoying tricks. I have to do a slide here, and it's a pretty forgiving slide. It'll let you through the wall pretty easily. However, the frame rate here is really bad. And you get to the point where slides are no longer like reactionary, they're just completely muscle memory. So this slide is slightly slower than what's normal. Okay, and I got it there, so that's cool. But that slide is just ever so slightly a different timing, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. Here's another glitch that's Japanese only. If I transform while I'm floating up in the water, I'll do that. I don't know why. I don't have enough Rio for both throws, so that kind of stinks, but whatever. Fire Rio kills those guys in 1 hit, so instead I'm going to have to hit this guy 3 times, unless this guy dropped Rio, which he didn't. And this, as you can see, Fire Rio saves quite a bit of time here, because this guy takes 3 hits to kill, and he has a little animation every single time. Now, the geography on this dumpling is so messed up. Thankfully you didn't experience it there, but it's so bad. Like, it looks like a simple, like, you know, little platform, but it's just not. I don't know what they did to that dumpling, but it is messed up. So if I were really low on Rio, which I am, I'd get Rio here. I only need about 40, which should be enough for the rest of the run. And again, I'm really low on HP, so I'm gonna try and take this room slowly, or safely rather. Usually the fastest method is just go through there and get hit twice, but I don't want to do that. So here's chopsticks. I'm gonna focus for a second. Oh my god, I knew that would happen. So yeah, that's chopsticks. You can see how much time it wastes if you don't get it first try. I have a setup for it too, so I need to re-enter, because just gung-hoing it is kind of silly. And I'm gonna get this. I gotta get it. It looks pretty neat. So getting on the chopsticks isn't that much of an issue. Staying on is... Okay. God. It did it again. Ledges in this game are really weird. They extend pretty far out. Right, and this is the last room of the dungeon. So as I said, it's a pretty short dungeon. And coming up is the impact fight. Now, impact is glorious, and if you haven't experienced the impact theme, I'm gonna let you right now, because it is beautiful. However, we have a bit of a cutscene first, where we're introduced to the king and the queen, I think? Or not introduced, but they meet up together. They introduce themselves one by one, and then they meet up in this dungeon. Again, this is the 4th dungeon that you're supposed to do, and we're doing it 3rd. You can actually do it 2nd, too. It's preference. You can do Gourmet Submarine into Ghost Toys, or Ghost Toys into Gourmet Submarine. I prefer to do Ghost Toys first, because it gets Ghost Toys out of the way.
How many dungeons are there? How many dungeons are there in the game?
Yeah,
That you'll play in, rather.
Yeah, Oedo, Ghost Toys, Festival, Gourmet, I think 6. So we're halfway there. The sixth dungeon though is like 1 minute long, so it's not really a dungeon, but. So here comes the Impact theme. So I'll explain it really quick so I don't talk over the music. Impact is a gigantic robot, so we're gonna enter a mech battle. It's gonna be first person, and I'm gonna infinite the guy with Mudada, I think it's called. I don't know. The thing where he punches a lot, the infinite punch combo. So here's Impact. I'm just gonna be quiet for it.
Chad is asking you guys to sing along.
Sorry, what?
Chad is asking you to sing along.
I will on the last one. I do know the lyrics. I have sung along to it, but I will on the last one. I'll let you guys experience it first, so you know what you're in for. And if anyone knows the lyrics, feel free to join on the second one, not this one. Alright, you guys can say this part. Hey. Alright, next time. You guys can do that, I believe in you. And this part. Ikuzi. If you can remember it. Yeah, Ikuzi! And then, yeah, you guys do this. I love that part. I just can't help but sing along to it. So you can move his head. It's useless, but it's cool. And this is completely pointless. It's not pointless for the second one, though. That's more important. This one, though, I just need to not fall.
Every time I watch this, I always
Good part to come in on.
You're wrecking towns and stuff?
Yeah, he's just blasting through like all these fisher towns or fisherman towns.
There's a lot of just on the water, middle of nowhere fishing villages.
Yeah, just in the middle of the Sea of Japan.
With random mountains.
Yep.
I don't know what if I'm talking to you.
You're not completely building down the sky. Really?
Alright. So here's Taisanda 2. He's called 2 because you fight him again, or you fight him in another Goemon game. So he's like rebuilt and back for more, I guess. It would be a good tagline for him, but he's just a gigantic robot fish, and he's the well, not the hardest Impact fight. That'd go to Balbera, which is the second last boss, but this guy's pretty tricky. So Impact fights are just stringing combos together. This guy's a very, very tight window to string combos together, so odds are I'm not going to get it, but I will try. So here we go. Too early. I can hook him there if I time it right, but I was way too early. Too early. So I'm going to do this combo, hopefully. Nope. There's a combo I can do where I can smack him around a bit. But I didn't do it right. It's pretty tricky to get the inputs. Again, his window is super tight. You're going to be seeing a combo during the last boss for sure. If I mess up the combos, then I'm bad at this game. But this guy's a very, very tight window, so it's not very likely that you're going to combo him. Yeah, that wasn't working. Yeah, he has 2 phases, one above water and one underwater. When I knock him below 1200, he goes underwater. And from this point on, it's pretty simple. But again, he still has the same really tight window, so I'm going to try and infinite him, but probably won't happen. Alright, there's one. Alright, so that little slap gets him up. Is he going to whirlpool? No, he's not. Okay, cool. 450. Okay. I'm gonna do the killing combo here. I'm gonna infinite punch, I'm gonna boot him, and I'm gonna shoot a laser at him. And he's dead. The laser does 400 damage, so that was a bit overkill. I could have just shot him, or I could have punched him once and then lasered, but the odds of that happening were not very high. So that combo total probably did like 700 damage, or somewhere around that range. because the punch does about 200, the kick does 100, and then the laser does 400. And yeah, I love this face. He just looks at the camera.
In before next Twitch show.
That's my Twitch avatar, and I love it. I love it so much.
It's good. It's good.
So here he talks about like filming movies in America or something. I don't know. Impact story is pretty big. So now, I believe it's time for some Kappa hype. We're gonna see a live actual Kappa. Well, not a live Kappa since they don't actually exist. But we're gonna be seeing a Kappa. An actual Kappa, not a sarcastic gray man. An actual green turtle fish, I think. And we're gonna give him a cucumber. Because Kappas...
How's the spam?
Oh, how's the chat? Yes, you gotta wait for a
Not there
little bit.
just yet.
Yeah, you gotta wait for a little bit.
Oh, it's
Oh,
there
there
it
it
is.
However hard you're spamming right now, I need you to do it twice as hard when the Kappa's actually on screen. Which will be in about 40 seconds or so. Actually, about a minute. I need to talk to this guy first.
You heard him. Prepare your kappas.
Oh, I clicked through him. Thank you, studio.
No problem.
I'm just blasting through this. Oh, wait, I need to make an input soon.
The walker's in there.
Alright, sadly we don't see the Kappa for very long. We see him for about 5 seconds, which is a shame, because he has really good music. But in 100% you see him for, like, in all of his glory. You see him as much as you would normally see him in a casual run, but here he is. The one and only actual Kappa. And that's all from him.
Looks just like a face on the fish.
Yeah, exactly like it. I mean, I can see where he got it from. And there he goes. Alright, see you, Kappa. I don't see him again.
Chat has already been exploding for the past, like,
Good
minute
job.
and a half.
Good job, I'm proud of you guys. Okay, so coming up is the music that is very hard to play along with that I will try. However, I should say that when I do runs of this game, I do it off my monitor, off of AMREC, so I have slight input delay. Here I do not, so it should be better than it usually is, so let me try. I won't try for this map actually, because I need to make inputs. After this jump right here, I should be able to do it, but I'm not going to just because when I do it, I'm going to do it hard. It sounded weird. Alright, here we go. I need to focus pretty hard during this, actually. It's hard to talk and do that at the same time.
So how much time it does that save?
None at all.
Oh, make up some.
Yeah, it's RNG manipulation
There we go.
for the upcoming boss. Speaking of, coming up is Festival Temple, which in any percent is super short, but it is my favorite dungeon in both 100% and 80%. But it has my least favorite boss, and before anyone says it, yes, I know that boss was featured in the first Goemon, because I know someone's gonna say it as some like ironic joke.
They could win now at least.
Because whenever I run this game, someone always says, "Hey, did you know this boss was featured in the first Goemon game?" I'm like, "No, I didn't. Thanks for that." Like for the 50th time in a row. Also, it's not that's a 100% thing, but when you talk to the old man to get your weapons upgraded in like the space castle, in the American version he's like, "Oh, I was looking at car magazines." However, in the Japanese version he says, "Oh, I was looking at hentai." So, thank you, Japan. And here's going to be another map glitch that is actually huge. It skips an entire character, because for those who do not know, there are 4 characters in this game, not 3. However, we skipped the 4th one. Well, technically we have him, he's just dead, because he's a robot and we need his batteries, but getting him is not worth it. Instead, we can just hold C right. How easy is that? So again, I'm map glitching here and I'm despawning everything in the area. Now, there's a wall blocking the entrance to this castle that you need the 4th character to unlock. However, it's not there right now. Will be in a second, once I hit this loading zone. There it is. But I was in the loading zone when that appeared, so yeah. And this is Festival Temple, which has the best music of any dungeon. Oh, spooked you. That actually scared me. I thought I was gonna get crushed by that. If you get crushed by that, it's an instant kill. So here's another version of the sign clip kind of glitch, where I'm gonna get into a wall and it's not gonna know where to put me. So it's just gonna warp me up if I can get into the wall. This is not a hard skip, or not a hard slide. I don't know why I'm messing it up. Wow, that's really bad. This is like the normal distance that I'm usually at. I don't know why it's so difficult to get into it. I might have to re-enter here just because my distance is so messed up. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to jump and it's going to put me into that loading zone there. Now another cool thing about the slide is that when you're doing it, you kind of maintain your position. So I can just go across that gap right there. Like gravity doesn't affect you while you're doing the slide. So you can just hover. Now the rest of this dungeon is pretty straightforward. I mean, I have like one more slide that I do, and that's really it. So just enjoy the music, I guess, because the music's pretty good. Also, I guess I should explain that I did a huge sequence break in the castle that skipped the entire castle. By doing that one slide that boosted me up, it skipped the entire castle. This is like the last room that you're supposed to go in. But I got that gold key from that slide, so thank you, Base of Bismarck. So coming up is the fish room. It can go one of two ways, good or bad, much like everything else in this game. And it all depends on how fast I slide. So the fish are on a cycle, and if I slide fast enough, I can get a really fast cycle. If I don't slide fast enough, I'll get a bad cycle. It's as simple as that. That shouldn't be fast enough.
I'm not going up to where somebody is inside.
I would have gotten it if I had gone for it, but I couldn't see anything, so I just didn't go for it. That's what I get for being safe. So here's what happens if I'm too slow. I have to wait for this fish to come down. However, if I made that jump earlier, I would have gotten the cycle and I would have saved like 20 seconds.
So it's not the practice one yet?
Not practice.
Okay.
Fun fact about the game here, you can soft lock it by zooming the camera in. I don't know why. But you can soft lock the game, and I have done it before. So that was pretty cool. And coming up is Surami, the aforementioned boss who was in the first Goemon game. Wait, where's this guy from? Does anyone know where this boss is from?
I believe he's from the first Goemon.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I think
Thanks.
I saw him in the one on Gammon on this one. That's true.
So here's Surami, he's my least favorite boss. He's just a pain in the ass. So how we're gonna beat this boss is we're gonna clip into his little zone and just hammer at him. However, clipping into his zone is very hard because the camera is really messed up, so I can't really tell where I am. Oh, but I did it. Cool. So now we just hit him. But this is why I hate Surami, is because he bobs up and down, and his bobbing is random. If he bobs at a certain height, you can't hit him. You just can't, so you gotta sit there and wait for him. And you can get hit, and you can get knocked off the podium, which will require you to do the slide again, which you don't want to do. But obviously, this little slide makes this boss completely trivial, because I'm just sitting here and whacking away at him. I think it's one more hit, and then the last phase. Okay, should be 3 more hits at this point. Now I'm going to want to position myself in a certain spot so that I collect the miracle item as fast as possible. If I position myself on the opposite side of this, Ibizmir will take a very long time to walk to it. However, if I position myself right here, can I please hit this boss, please? Thank you. If I position myself right here, Ibizmir will walk directly towards the miracle item. And it'll save me like 15 seconds.
How are you normally supposed to hit him?
He throws plates, like energy plates or whatever, and he throws like nothing but blue ones, but then he throws red ones that you can hit back at him, and that's how you hit him. And it takes a really long time. That fight cuts down like 3 minutes. So again, my positioning is going to play a part here, so I'm just going to walk directly towards the miracle item.
Fun fact that chat just provided. Apparently that boss was from the first game as well.
Thank you, Chad. I didn't know that.
It's cool to put throwbacks like that in.
Right. So now we're done on this mortal plane. We're gonna go to space. Because, you know, that's the next logical step. Space is pretty cool. It has pretty good music. And the dungeons are pretty neat. However, it's very random. Well, it's not very random. There's two specific instances of randomness, and it's the fans. If you're familiar with me running this game, you know that the fans are completely random. You can fall through them anytime they decide. And if you fall through a fan, then you have to redo the entire room, which costs you like 15 seconds usually. So we'll get to those in a couple of minutes. And hopefully they go well, but probably won't. And again, just more dialogue here. Excuse me, I want to save here. Okay. We're going to warp back to Festival Village. Jeez. Because that is where the spaceship is. It's a very modern spaceship. If you recognize any spaceships from our day, they look very similar. Okay, and I did warp to the right place. Good. I don't usually warp to the wrong place. The inputs are pretty... I've memorized the inputs by now, but I have warped... I have misinput, I guess the term would be, where I make an input earlier than I should have, and I warp to the wrong place that way, so... Thankfully I didn't do that in this run, because we're done warping for now. Or for the rest of the run, rather. I'm coming up with the last two dungeons of the game. And the last two boss fights. So I'm gonna map glitch here just to save frames. It's kinda laggy here, not really super laggy, but I mean, it's sort of laggy, so you should map glitch. So I'm gonna despawn the Sea of Japan because it's, you know, it's laggy. It's not there right now. If you actually go to the bottom of the sea and you respawn the water, you'll soft lock your game because the game doesn't know what to do at that moment. So you're not supposed to be under the water with anything but Meridia. So here is our spaceship. As you can see, it's very modern, very practical design. Tribal heads are pretty in right now, I hear, in NASA. So we give this guy our miracle items and he just takes us off into space. And these next two dungeons have really good music. But there's a lot to explain, so I'll probably be talking over it the whole time, so sorry about that. And off we go. So these are referred to as Musical Castle. There's Musical Castle 1 and 2. 1 is difficult, 2 is a joke. And here we go. This is the place where fans happen. Not yet, but this is the dungeon where it happens. Alright, I don't want to fall in this room, or else I lose time. That's bad. Here's that ledge boosting thing I was talking about. I don't know why it works, but again, it's another part of skipping Sasuke, who's the 4th character, because you need him to get up those ledges. But thankfully, since ledges are completely busted, we don't need Sasuke. That's bad, but whatever. Alright, here's the scariest part where I can fall. It's hard to see, but I didn't fall, thankfully. So here are the fans. These fans are usually pretty nice, but I didn't fall through that one. I just missed it. So there's a backup strat. I have to do a slide here. Okay, I got it. However, for the second room, there is no backup strat, so if I fall through the fans, that's just how it is. I'm gonna do a YOLO jump, or just jump without moving the camera. Hopefully I get it. Okay, cool. That's not that hard, but it looks cool. Where am I going? Alright. A lot of sequence breaking in this dungeon is done by just sliding into walls and boosting up them. Like in here, I'm gonna get the key without having Impact Goemon, which is Super Saiyan Goemon, which I was talking about before. Oh, that was bad. I notice when I run this game and the run progresses to the later stages, I just get worse and worse at doing slides. I don't know why, it just kind of happens. And I don't know why I'm not clipping either, because it just usually is not a problem. Okay, what's going on? This is actually kind of ridiculous. I usually get this first try every single time. There, Jesus. And that's all that it was. So here's the second fan room that I hopefully one cycle. Nope. That's what I was talking about. You can just randomly fall through the fans. I don't know what causes it. My theory is that there are like, if you can see how the fans are divided, there's like 4 little sections. My theory is that if you land on one of the where the sections split, you just fall through the fan. So here's probably the most broken room. I mean, it's not really that broken, but it looks kind of broken. So I'm going to clip out of bounds here. This is one of the few times out of bounds is actually useful. By going in here and getting big, which you're not supposed to do. So now I'm in the wall, and I want to get to a very specific point and jump. And that will boost me up there. Cool. And that skips like 3 keys or something. Skips quite a bit. And now, that's Musical Castle 1. There's one room left, but it's not really an issue. It's this room, all I have to do is hit a button. Which is kind of finicky, but it didn't prove much of an issue. Now I'd like to not fall here.
So much for that.
That was not on purpose, though it seemed like it was. Okay, that's like a frame saver just because walking is faster than swimming. So there's a huge hedge maze here, and it's kind of annoying on casual playthrough, but of course we have a Bismuth, so we really don't need to worry about that. Because we're just going to clip into it, assuming I can do the slide. There we go. Now, normally I'd clip through this wall, however the game designers were kind enough to make me be able to just walk right through it. So I'm just going to walk into this corner here and clip into it. I don't know why that works. It's like the only corner in the game that it does. And that's like an optimal thing. I don't need the slide there, but it's the fastest way of getting out of a mini Bismuth. Yeah, dancing, I don't know. Japan.
Those are funny little legs too. It's all content.
So this one slide skips the entire dungeon, and I got it first try, that's cool. That's the entire dungeon that I just skipped by doing that slide. And this is the last few rooms of the game. Nothing really can screw me over at this point. Again, I'm not trying to set anything up, so if something bad happens, then I guess I brought it upon myself.
The only thing that can screw you over right now is yourself.
So I can one cycle this room if I don't get a falling animation. Of course I got one. If you don't get a falling animation, you can just run like right through, but if you get a falling animation, it'll cause the room to start spinning, and you miss your chance to just walk right through. And this place has great music, but it's a shame because this dungeon's only like 2 minutes long. Oh jeez, the geometry on this thing is really, really weird. Okay, boost up here, and that's it. So if you've never witnessed the ending of this game, it's pretty cool. There's this, what's the word, opera? Called Gorgeous My Stage that you need to experience. It's coming up in about 30 seconds. I don't know the context behind this. I think the guys just show up and they're like, hey, these guys are here, we might as well show them what we're all about. And they perform an opera. I don't know why. So here's Gorgeous My Stage. Enjoy it. It's pretty good. Just my stage. And I'm not gonna hold that note. I don't like holding notes. I'm sorry. Now, what you've probably not all been waiting for, but you asked for it, I will sing the Impact theme, because I know it and I like singing it. So you guys can provide the backup with the hey
Hey.
and the AQZ if you feel like it.
That was the $0 donation incentive.
Yeah. Alright, here we go. I apologize if my voice cracks at all, and if I sing in the wrong range, which I do a lot.
We made it through a Yama scene rock band. We can handle anything.
Alright.
Face.
More utai yo se ne ukete yukuso hashin mashin ga unaru Oe wa kikai da tetsujin da
Hey!
wa takui fuck haname no tamashi
Break down.
no break down
There we go.
Wari yatsura wo buchi kawase Shisatsu Genkai power de Hakuretsu Paunchi. I'm in the wrong range, so I'm not gonna sing this, sorry. But yeah, that's the Impact theme. I butchered it, but you guys wanted that.
Chat is a wall of Craigasm.
Alright, so this part is actually really important. I need a specific amount of Rio here, or else the next fight is gonna go really bad. And that's not good. That doesn't really lose me anything except time spent on the ground, which I can use getting Rio. So I'm going to take this really slow and get as much Rio as I can because I fell. That is a pretty good animation though, I have to say. So you'll see why I need Rio in a second. The next boss is not damageable without Rio. Well, I can damage him with a laser, but I'm not going to hit him with 4 lasers in a row. Or 5. And man, I'm getting barely any Rio. This is not good. I'm going to take this like stupidly slow, just so I can make sure that this fight doesn't take ages. If I don't have a certain amount of Rio, then I will run out in the middle of the fight, and that will not be good.
Are these sections predetermined, like the items that are on the ground?
Alright, 383 is doable. That's a lot lower than I'd like, though. I'd like 400, but we can make do. So, you can get a perfect boss fight on this guy, too. You can kill him in 2 cycles, I think, and I've only done it once in my entire speedrunning career of this game, and I've fought this boss hundreds of times. So if I got it now, that'd be really cool. I've gotten very close to it a lot of times, but it's such a tight timing. So I'm going to shoot Rio with the Z button, but I'm going to use 2 fingers to spam it like as fast as I can. And the goal with this guy is to kill his peaches. Because if you kill his little peaches, then he opens back up and you can damage him again. And 700 is decent. However, hitting these peaches is a gigantic pain in the ass, because depth perception plus N64 does not equal a good combination. Like, I have a very hard time of determining where they are. Okay, I killed them all, so he's going to open up again. Now, I need to do a lot of damage from this phase if I want to 2-cycle him. It's possible, it's not likely, though. Yeah, see, if I lasered there, I maybe would have gotten it. I highly doubt it, but... Awesome. Cool. All I need to do is hit him with this, and that's Valbera. That was a really good Valbera. I'm proud of that. Wait, what? I hit his beam! I didn't hit him! Oh my god.
No clap for you.
I didn't even know how that happened. That was clearly above it. I'm gonna get some more Rio. That was trash. I'm sorry. That's just the kind of thing that happened to me in a marathon, I guess. I tricked you all.
The sanctity of the applause in this marathon.
No, it was actually a pity clap. In disguise. You just didn't know it. Alright, there we go. Now,
Miss.
I didn't hit him. I didn't hit him again. I hit like the pixel-wide thing between his like casing and his open like body, I guess. And now I have 1 Rio. So that's cool. This is why I need 400 Rio throughout the fight, because I'm just spamming Rio the whole time. So now I'm gonna have to kill these. And I'm really bad at killing these because I never have to. If this were a run, it would be quite the reset. These guys will usually attack me on their own. This guy's, yeah, see, they'll fly up and attack me, which is how you normally kill them. Okay, I'm just gonna shoot Rio at him. I'm not trusting myself with a laser. Oh, I'm out of Rio, great. And I'm gonna miss again. Okay, that hit. I don't know how.
And the trick is not to believe in yourself.
Yes, exactly. Now coming up is the last boss of the game. Time is gonna be in like 2 minutes. But this is D'Etoile. I'm sure I butchered that. It's spelled D, like apostrophe E-T-O-I-L-E. So if someone French can pronounce that properly, that'd be cool, but I don't think there are any French people here at the moment. So, oh well. I will call him D'Etoile. But yeah, this is him. He's super imposing and like really intimidating, but he's a piece of cake. So he's gonna just go there. And I should be able to infinite him pretty easily. Oh, that was stupid. Yeah, it's hard to get like to combo it all just because it's so easy to mess up and you have to do it like 8 times in a row. And I believe I'm cursed that I cannot do anything like flawless. I've never, like, I rarely get 100% on anything. Oh, what a jerk. I was about to say something. Not friendly. He has 470. He should Meteor, which is his like special ability. So the only way to get him out of this is laser. Every single boss has one of these moves. We didn't see Taisamba's, but his is a whirlpool. Balbera doesn't have one because that would be silly. And tell you what, I'm gonna try and go out in style here by hitting him with my chain pipe as the last hit because it looks pretty silly. Ah, I killed him. Never mind. That's time, by the way. That's terrible. Look what I did. So yeah, in the Japanese version, there's voice acting in this cutscene. It's not in the English version, but yeah, it's pretty cool. So I'm gonna let this play out and give people some shoutouts.
In case you're wondering, that is Paikin's 6th classifier.
That's how I roll.
So at least one person in chat really wanted you to know that the run was awesome and they really enjoyed your commentary.
Cool. Thank you guys. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it.
That was the first time I've seen anything from this game, so...
Yeah, that's usually the case with most runners. Like, they don't really know about this game. I don't really know why. It's not that obscure. It's a pretty popular game.
Well, I guess it wasn't released in Europe anyway.
Yeah, that would explain it.
That's one reason I
So again, they go at Team Rocket style, fit with the star.
At 60 FPS for some reason. All of a sudden.
Yep. And that's pretty much the only interesting thing in the ending cutscene. The credit music is really good, but I don't think we're gonna roll it that long. So, shout outs to SRG, all the boys, everyone here, both in IRC, the thread, and at the event. You guys are awesome, really cool speedrunning community. Shout outs to Python Fan Club V3. I did not forget this time. If you guys are watching, you are my internet family. I've known you guys forever, and I really enjoy hanging out with you guys. Shout outs to Czar, Serpin, and I think that's it. for the Grand Runners for destroying this game and developing the route and everything. And shoutouts to the Nico guys for giving me a baseline for the 100% route. And I was able to optimize it off that, so shoutouts to them. And shoutouts to you guys for watching. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. It was fun to do. Hope to do it again someday. So yeah, that's it for me. See you guys at SGDQ hopefully.
You better watch that Japanese run then to improve your run further.
Yeah, the Nico guy.
So you guys just watched Mystical Ninja starring Goemon by Piken. We're gonna go to a quick commercial break, and then after that we have Dust Unless the Entail by Voligen, and afterwards a lot of people, by me, afterwards a lot of people are wondering whether or not the bonus stream is continuing, and of course it is continuing. There was an earlier version of the schedule that was floating around, and that had everything up through Dust. But there's more stuff on there, and there's an image floating around. I'm going to put in both chats, and then we'll go to commercial.
What did ESA just come to sunset or something?
ESA is a bonus stream, like in its entirety. That's what it is.
At one point, we were in a room closet, I think.
Still streaming from Oasis's computer. I'm just gonna let this run because the credit music is good, so the next runner can just do whatever he needs to. Because the credit music is pretty cool.
Alas, we just went to commercial, so.
So
It's
only,
okay,
only the cool people who pay $8.95 a month
$8.95.
are those jerks with ad
We're paying nothing.
literally stealing money from cancer research. That's how it works.
There's also literally worse than Hitler. Literally triple Satan.
Yeah, if you're in one of those weird